When I'm in this plane, I'm so busy looking, thinking. There's so many instructions. It's a lot to know. But once you get the hang of it, you can do things that birds can't do.
1 year ago, 22-year-old Arkansas native Shelby Westbrook was a welder living in Toledo, Ohio. Now he's in Alabama, training to become a pilot with the Army Air Force's first all-black fighter group. Known as the Tuskegee Airmen, soldiers train at a segregated campus. They are commanded by white and Puerto Rican officers.
We may have separate facilities, but it's a good feeling knowing that we're doing what a lot of folks said we couldn't. I could have gone into the infantry, but when the draft board started sending me letters, I made an application for the Air Corps. First, they were only accepting
college graduates for flight training. And then they ran out of college graduates, so then they started recruiting those with 2 years college. And when they ran out of the 2-year college folks, they came up with a written test. If you could pass the test, then you could qualify for the program. So that's how I came. Because I had no college training.
And now I'm a commissioned pilot in the 332nd Fighter Group.
Westbrook and the Tuskegee Airmen are filmed in color in stateside films like this one. Produced by the military, this film was intended to publicize the inclusion of African Americans in the Army Air Forces. After their training, the fighter group's overseas combat action is shot in black and white.
The briefing officer gets out this huge map of the entire European theater. He says, "Gentlemen, today we go after the oil refineries." We all look around. Everyone knows this won't be a milk run.
Westbrook and the 332nd Fighter Group are escorting bombers as part of an ongoing Allied strategy to bomb Nazi oil facilities. Their target is the Germans' massive oil refining complex in Blechhammer, Poland. There, the Germans are using the area's natural deposits of soft coal to produce synthetic oil, which they use to fuel nearly all of their planes. Blechhammer is among the most heavily defended targets in the Reich.
The amount of flak is unbelievable. There's so much anti-aircraft fire and smoke screens, it's hard to see anything. Some smoke clouds are so dense, like a thunderstorm from hell, just sitting in the sky. Our bombers are completely disappearing in them.
As the B-17s finish their drop and begin to turn back, German fighters close in.
There's no time to feel, only time to react. Our big bombers are like sitting ducks, so it is up to us to protect them. It's time to do our job.
To protect the bombers, Westbrook and the other pilots are drawn into tense air-to-air combat with German fighters, running dogfights that drag the American pilots from 20,000 feet to below 5,000. The dogfights only last a matter of minutes. The amount of time it takes to empty the 1,200 rounds of 50 caliber ammunition in each plane. After 8 hours in the air, Westbrook and the rest of the Tuskegee Squadron are finally back in friendly skies. Once the bombers land, the fighters peel off and head back to their own small airstrip at Ramitelli, completely separated from the white pilots.
When I'm flying, all I can think about is what I'm doing. The responsibility is exciting. But when I get back here, the reality of the danger hits me. This is serious business. There's no time for emotions. You're too busy trying to avoid the portable flak batteries on the ground below.
Year-old Tuskegee Airman Shelby Westbrook is flying his 31st mission with the 332nd Fighter Group. Today, he is escorting a group of B-24 Liberators on a bombing run over Germany.
I'm hit somewhere in the coolant system. Squadron leader tells me to peel off and head back to base. Pilot closest to me forms up to escort me home. But I'm starting to lose altitude. I'm coming down out of the clouds. There are mountains in front of me. I'm on the east side of the Black Alps, over German-occupied Yugoslavia. We have 2 aircraft down. But that's the least of our problems. Now, we have to find a way to get out of here with our lives. We're looking to find out where we are when we see guys in
German uniforms with rifles at the ready. So we stopped, and we both had sidearms of 45 automatics. But hey, they already had theirs aimed at you. Then all of a sudden, both the guys took their guns and put them on their shoulder. And we looked, and there was a little red star on their cap. So they were Tito partisans.
Westbrook and his wingman have been rescued by a Yugoslavian resistance group known as Tito's Partisans. To help him throw the Germans out of his homeland, Communist Party leader Joseph Broz Tito struck a deal with the Allies. In exchange for weapons and ammunition, he and his 200,000 resistance fighters have promised to protect and return downed Allied pilots, helping them through German-held territory.
We sleep by day and march in the middle of the night when there's no moon. This is a new kind of danger. Sleeping days and marching nights has taken its toll. We have to be careful. The Germans could be anywhere.
Having narrowly survived a crash landing in Yugoslavia, Tuskegee Airman Shelby Westbrook is in enemy-occupied territory. He is being escorted by armed Yugoslavian resistance fighters known as Tito's Partisans. Dressed in German uniforms as a disguise, the partisans are attempting to guide Westbrook back to his airfield in Italy.
You don't know what your conditions are going to be from one minute to the next. You're always
on edge. All of a sudden, you would hear a voice. I think the word was stowy. Right out of the darkness, you'd hear the word stowy, and everybody would freeze. When the partisans froze, you froze. You stopped. You didn't make any noises. And it would be this quiet sound in the middle of black darkness. And all of a sudden, you'd hear some voices start a little conversation. And a couple of minutes later, you start moving.
You start moving again. It's strange to feel so helpless. But all I can do is trust these guys and stay ready for whatever comes next.
For the next 4 weeks, Shelby Westbrook hides behind enemy lines. With the help of the partisans, he eventually reaches the port of Zara on Yugoslavia's Adriatic coast. There he meets British commandos who transport him back to his squadron in Italy. Westbrook goes on to fly another 29 missions before his tour of overseas duty is over.
And when I got back to the tent, I started teasing the other guys and say, hey, I'll see you guys later. I'm on my way home.